I even feel a little better than I did yesterday, which is a good thing. I'm going to do a review on the Balvenie single barrel. This is the 15-year-old sherry cask, and I purchased this, I believe, at the same place that the Scotch Test Dummies purchased their Balvenie. You'll notice no labels on it except for an Iowa refund, 5-cent refund stamp on it. But inside the cask, when I took it out of this cask, literally, I grabbed it like this and it went just like that. Scared the dickens out of me. I thought I had dropped it and broke it. I caught it with my other hand because I was standing over the floor, and we have a tile floor in the kitchen, and that would not have been good. So, and I think I had that label upside down for you guys. Anyway, it is an interesting bottle, to say the least. I need to go ahead and pour this because this is going to take a minute or two. Should have already had it poured. I have spent the better part of 2 weeks, even with my cold, nursing this, trying to see, and my allergies, of course, but Zyrtex helped take care of that. Trying to see what I get out of it, because I hadn't tested it, and I actually knew Scott had his, because I'd emailed him about the issue with the labels, and he had said he had the same issue. So anyway, long story short, I actually paid $86.99 for this bottle, where I bought it at. So, and I've got a bottle of the bourbon now that I've got to review, but there's going to be no hurry on that. This is one out of 800, and I think the bourbon's only one out of 350, the 15-year-old bourbon. And I will get to that, but there's a lot of other stuff to do in the process. Anyway, it's non-chill filtered, no color added. It's a sherry, and it doesn't say anywhere about no color added, but I assume it doesn't. I would believe it probably doesn't. But anyway, this is craftsmanship, single malt whiskey making, home managed, blah blah blah. So single builder has his name. No two casks are the same. I'm skimming fast, so it's possible I may have missed it about the coloring, but I'm going to assume it doesn't. But I want to read this to you guys. Tasting notes. While no tea cask will ever produce the identical single malt because of the careful sampling and selection by our malt master, the Balvenie single barrel sherry cask has a consistent character that is rich with elegant oak and subtle spice. Dried fruits are also overlaid with a gentle nuttiness, leading to a long and sherried finish. Remember those words, long and sherried finish, as we get into this. It is 15 years old, as I've said. It is cask number 11302, bottle number 56. It is 47.8% alcohol by volume. Balvenie was established in 1892. It's a William Grant distillery. He originally built it to take off some of the pressure off of his Glenfiddich distillery. They started doing single malts steadily. I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s when they finally started producing single malts. Originally, they used more or less for their Grants blended Scotch. Now they built another distillery or opened another distillery next door, the Cask, and it's kind of generating all of its toward the blends as I understand it. So, that being said, my nose is starting to creep up on me again, so we better get this going before I go any further. It has a nice, good dark color. I mean, I love the color of this stuff in the bottle and in the glass. It's definitely darker than the two bourbons I had last night. I would expect that with sherry. That's not what I needed. I get my notes on it from the other day. These notes have been compiled, and there's been a few scratch outs and adds as I went along. So, with that being said, let's make sure I've covered everything. And the color is a dark amber, almost a burnt honey. I also have exactly a half teaspoon of water to temper it with when we get to that point. The nose is wonderful. Dried fruits. Just as it says, dried fruits. Dried raisins, apricots, cherries, nutmeg. You get some nutmeg in there. A little allspice for sure. Allspice and nutmeg together. You're getting into that sort of Christmas cake spices, fruit cakes. Getting into that spice realm right there with this. I mean, it just takes you right to it. It just smells delicious. You'll have to excuse me because my cold still lingers. But I can smell, thank God, and taste now. Couldn't do that a week ago. It was a struggle to get anything done. Good, thick legs. I mean, this is wheelie, just like you'd expect a 15-year-old to be, especially sherry cask. Ooh. Initially on the palate, warming. It is warming. Dried tart cherry. Dried raisin. A little sweetness. Butterscotch. Again, the dried cherries, dried tart cherries. Apricots, yes. Christmas cake, nutmeg, a little cinnamon, a little allspice. Little unsweetened cranberry juice. And get a little unsweetened cranberry juice comes along with that. But now, here's the kicker. From that sip to now, it's done. It falls flat. It falls flat in the finish. It's better now that it's been opened 2-3 weeks, whatever it's been, than it was when it first opened. When it first opened, I literally got nothing on it. Now I follow up with a little almost a cinnamon vanilla flan. It's like a Mexican pudding. But it's subtle. You have to work at it. But that's the finish. I've had the Balvenie 17-year-old double wood. Probably one of the best scotches I have ever touched my lips to. I love that stuff. I've had the 14. I've had the 12 double wood. The 14's a Caribbean cask. And between the 17 and the 12 were both delicious. I was surprised about how this goes. Now, there'll be somebody out there who will love this finish, who loves that short finish. And this is the Scotch for that person. There's no doubt about it. And this is a good Scotch. Do not get me wrong. I think I would like to see if I was to buy another bottle of it. I got it at a very good price. It would have to be that price or cheaper before I would buy another bottle, even consider buying another bottle of it. But I will enjoy this bottle and treasure this bottle. This is a good stuff. And it's complex from the nose to the palate. It's just the finish leaves you, it's virtual, I don't know. It's flat is the best way I can describe it. It just falls into a flat finish. And again, I know this is single barrel. Each one is different. But leading to a long and sherried finish? No. No. Macallan 12, long and sherried finish. Even the Abelard 12 I had was a little bit more of a finish than that. But I did not care for the Abelard, but that's neither here nor there. I haven't done a review on it, and I'll just let that go. The 12, that is. What am I going to give this? And I'm going to give it an 88 out of 100 because this is not a bad Scotch. Okay? It's just when I pay that much more for it than I would at Macallan, I kind of expect a little bit more out of it. Especially with the Balvenie, because I like Balvenie. They're very good. You know, they're a very good company. They make very good scotches. The distillery is excellent. I don't care for the rum cask finish because it's too lightly flavored for my taste. That being said, it's not a bad Scotch. It's just not per my flavor palette. Let's hit it with a little water because it really doesn't need water. You do not taste the alcohol in this at all. I mean, it's a rich, flowing, building Scotch. It hits your palate, it builds, then it's flat. There's nothing. And I've never quite experienced that before. And of course, I haven't drank as much Scotch as other tasters and other people who've drank Scotch all their lives. I don't have that. You know, bourbons, I give you more of an idea on, but Scotch is just, this is all fairly new to me. I mean, I understand it all, and I understand what I'm doing to a certain degree. I'm no expert by any means, but I'll leave it alone. Yeah, the water reduces the oiliness, and if anything, it hastens the flatness in the finish. Water does us no favors at all. So your experience might probably be different than mine because Lord knows there's a lot of different barrels out there. I'm sure they've made several barrels, bottled several different barrels of this. But I can tell you that what they're charging for it now is roughly about $110 or more. And for this barrel, I wouldn't pay $110 for it. I just wouldn't do it. And I think, you know, watch the Scotch Test Dummies video on this, and you'll see that they have the same conclusions, I think, that I do. So I don't think there's much else to say about it other than it really is a good Scotch. The 88 tells you it's a good Scotch. A memorable Scotch, memorable in the fact that it's flat on the finish, but memorable in the fact that the nose promises so much, and the initial taste promises so much, and it builds in your mouth, and it builds and it builds and it builds, and then boom, it's done. Which is strange. Anyway, there is certain people that will like that, and this will really appeal to them. And knock yourself out, guys. You'll love it. That being said, remember, the spirit in the glass isn't running from you. Take your time, sip, and enjoy. I'm going to finish this one and probably pour another one because it's good stuff, really.